Hey everyone, welcome to Upcycled Adulting, my YouTube channel where I help you grow to accomplish your goals, create healthy habits, and overcome obstacles. And one of the biggest obstacles I talk about a lot is stress. And today we're going to be talking about just that. Do not forget to subscribe and like this video so that you don't ever miss a single thing. Today, I'm going to be talking about holiday stress. Now, listen, I have a lot of content about stress and holiday stress and the holidays in general because it's a really challenging time of year to navigate. Even if we love the holidays, we can find ourselves really struggling, feeling really overwhelmed, really stressed out, stretched way, way, way too thin. This is particularly true if you have any unique circumstance in your life. For example, you come from an unhealthy family, you struggle with your family relationships, you're a mom, or in particular, maybe a working mom, or if you happen to be a business owner. This time of year is busy, busy, busy with a lot of demands, a lot of expectations, and what turns out to be, honestly, a lot of stress. So today, I want to share my 5 best holiday stress management tips. Number one, we want to reduce the obligations in our lives. Now, here's the deal. There are a lot of things that happen at the holidays that we love, but there is a very limited amount of time, right? If you're in the States, you are probably actually really focused on Christmas after Thanksgiving, which gives you less than a month to do a million things. And that means that you may be feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, not to mention that there's probably a lot of pressure on you to show up for a lot of different events. And so, really getting clear about what your priorities are and aligning what you're going to do, making clear decisions and clear cuts about what's not going to happen based on your own priorities really matters. You can check out my holiday priority video for more information about exactly how to get clarity on the priorities. But essentially, you want to think about what matters most to you? What do you value most about the holidays? And you want to make decisions according to that rather than according to expectations or shoulds or maybe your own shoulds, right? Because we do that to ourselves. Next thing I want to talk about is quiet quitting. And what does that mean? Doing the bare minimum that you must do. There are some things that you're like, I mean, I'm not super materialistic or consumerist, but I do want to make sure that I have some gifts for various things, various people. Maybe I want to have some nice things under the tree for the kids. So I know that while it doesn't fit in a big way with my holiday priorities, I am going to have some obligation to do a little bit of shopping, right? And so what you want to do is quiet quit the shopping. Now, I have a whole TikTok series about the 5 things I'm quiet quitting this holiday season to kind of walk you through exactly how I'm doing it. And one of those things is actually shopping. It's too much. I do not like to shop. Um, Contrary to what you may think, I actually, in my real life, am socially awkward and introverted. And that much peopling at the holidays is really hard for me. It's hard for me to just do holiday events, let alone be out in public around a million strangers doing something I don't enjoy, anyways. And for that reason, I've made a lot of adjustments to the way that I'm shopping, right? So I'm quiet quitting shopping. I'm doing the minimum and I'm doing it in a way that feels better to me, right? That does fit my life better or my needs better instead of trying to force myself to love being at the mall with the Christmas music playing and all the decorations. No, thank you. I can support small businesses just fine from the comfort of my living room, just so that we are clear. Um, and in the meantime, I can actually give myself a little bit of permission, a little bit of slack to also say there are some people I'm not shopping for. There are some shopping I'm not engaging in it, right? I don't have to buy for everybody just because that's what it's been done in my family or my husband's family or whatever. I can totally and completely say, I'm going to cut that shopping list and I'm going to do it in a way that's better for me. So quiet quit the things that you don't want to be doing instead of feeling obligated to do them the way you always have, the way your family has, the way that the world says you should. Just step back and be like, yeah, I'm going to call it in and do the minimum here. Okay. It's just a supporting activity and I'm not going to feel obligated to go over the top. I want to say that while this is something I enjoy about the holidays, you may not. So you may want to consider quiet quitting things like cookie decorating or crafting. And a lot of times those can be eliminated altogether, y'all. Okay. And the next thing I want to say is say no. Just say no. If you have obligatory events that you are like, I'm not down for this, I don't want to do it, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, we're not coming to that. I'm not running to three people's houses on Christmas Day with my two kids. It's not happening. Period. Hard stop. Everyone needs to respect that. That is completely and totally reasonable. You are allowed to have your boundaries. You're allowed to have them whether other people understand them or not. You do not need permission to have them. I am telling you right now, just say no to anything that does not align with your priorities this holiday season or your personal values. You can say no. You can say no to all gift giving. You really can. I promise you can. And your holidays will actually be much better for it. Number 2 is reduce your expectations. Now, I'm going to say to everybody out there, everyone needs to reduce their expectations. The holidays are not going to be perfect. Somebody's probably going to get a cold. Somebody's not going to be able to come. Something in your dinner or your dessert is going to be a disaster. There's going to be a mess in your house. There's going to be somebody crying. There's going to be someone who doesn't like their gift. There's going to be a million things because that's what happens when we're peopling this much and when we have all these things going on. And to be honest with you, if you reduce these expectations and there's not so much pressure, you'll actually have less of these things happen. Okay. Give it up. If I have any recovering perfectionists out there, okay, like me, give it up. If you're planning a holiday event and you're expecting everyone to be cheerful, I'm just telling you, might not happen. All right. I have a lot of Christmas traditions. And I just am going to put this out there for everybody who has adult children. I think this is really important and I really need you to hear this. And if you are an adult and your parents are around and you're dealing with this, I want you to hear it too. Okay. It is a reasonable thing for your adult children to not want to participate in certain family events, any if that's their choice, or for them to not want to do certain holiday traditions or any for that matter. Okay. It is not cool to expect them to show up and to expect them to cheerfully show up for that event just because it's tradition. The kindest thing you can possibly do for the people that you love is to give them grace and space. The best thing that you can do for your event is actually, or for your tradition, is to actually give people the permission that they sometimes need but are afraid to ask for because everybody's telling them they're not allowed to ask. Really, everybody in the world is saying that, to give them that space to say, just so you know, if this doesn't align with your priorities, if this doesn't bring you joy, if you're already too busy, it's okay to skip it. It's okay to skip it. I did not have traditions growing up as a child. My parents were divorced. They did not do that. So I didn't really have a lot of holiday traditions growing up. My favorite one was one that I did with a friend's family every single year. That was my only really consistent tradition. And because of that, I have a million traditions. By the way, you will find a video about that if you're looking for new traditions, but I have a million traditions for all holidays, Christmas, birthdays, you name it. I have traditions for it. And when my kids were getting older and when my daughters had kids of their own, one of my daughters at one point said something about not doing a specific tradition that we do in her family. And as soon as she said it, I could tell that she was really freaked out. Like it's a cherished tradition in our family. And I could tell that she felt like it might be unkind or hurtful to say she wasn't going to do it. And I immediately told her, I was like, babe, I wanted you to have all these traditions because that mattered to me for our family, but that doesn't have to matter to you for yours. And you can pick the ones you love and ditch the ones you hate, or you can ditch them all if you want. You can create completely new ones. Okay. I have no expectation that you will continue these traditions. All right. And yes, we have traditions in our family, for those of you thinking this, that have come from my husband's side of the family that are a little bit more long-standing. We have traditions that I love and I'm very attached to, but that does not obligate my kids to do them. So reducing your expectations allows people to show up where they want, when they want, and better, because we don't have that kind of pressure. So, let's drop it. There are things that are not going to be great. It's not going to be a Hallmark Christmas movie. Spoiler alert. It's okay. It's okay. Number three, and I think that this is actually the most important one, but without doing one and two, I think it's really hard to do number three, is take care of your health. Okay. December is not like a free pass on managing your physical health. I've done that. If you do that, I have just this little information for you. You will be miserable by Christmas and New Year's. You will feel awful. You will be sick. You will have a sugar alcohol hangover. You will feel nasty. Okay. So, here are the things that I prioritize to take care of my health at Christmas. I do not prioritize exercise. The reason I don't prioritize exercise, I am typically a morning workout person. I don't prioritize exercise because I get a lot of exercise during the holidays. I do a lot of running around. I do a lot of heavy lifting. I do a lot of wrapping. I do a lot of being on my feet. Right? Y'all do this too. You put up Christmas trees and decorations and you haul decorations from the garage or the basement into your house. This is a lot of physical work. And so I don't find that it's really difficult to be physically active during the holidays. For that reason, I don't really need to prioritize my workout. For some of you, you do need to prioritize your workout because it also gives you that energy boost and that mental check-in, and that's completely fine. I like to do a midday move, throw on a few songs, dance around, okay, shake it up a little bit. Um, as my kind of form of kind of shaking off some of that stress, because movement is good for that. But I don't follow as much of a structured exercise routine during the holidays. What I do very much focus on is drinking lots of water. I actually generally am drinking herbal tea. I keep it in here so it stays hot. But if you drink herbal tea, it counts as water, but it's nice and hot and cozy. And I like that in the winter. So I tend to make sure I stay really well hydrated. And I watch it with the alcohol so that I can kind of keep myself from getting dehydrated. I feel really bad when I'm dehydrated. I make sure that I eat a vegetable first. So I eat a vegetable. Every time I eat something, I grab a vegetable with it. Could be something as simple as carrot sticks. It does not matter. It doesn't have to be hard. I'm just making sure that I'm getting enough nutrients into my body, because I have found out the hard way that if you try to live on hot cocoa and Christmas cookies for the whole month of December, it will not go well. So, yes, I have hot cocoa. Yes, I have Christmas cookies. But before I drink the hot cocoa and eat the Christmas cookies, I'm gonna grab a vegetable. And whether that's leftover broccoli or some roasted veg or some carrot sticks, or I think celery is awful, so that won't be my choice, but it might be yours, or some cucumbers or whatever. I just make sure that I am getting a little bit of nutrients to keep me going. So that's real. I don't deprive myself of food. I don't deprive myself of the snacks I want. You can check out my video about maintaining your health and you'll see it there. But I do grab extra veggies. I make sure I eat a veggie with everything that I eat. And that way, it's a super easy way for me to eat well. Number three, and this is probably the most important and the hardest one, is get rest. Prioritize sleeping. I'm going to talk in this series about routine changes and things like that that'll help make a little bit of space for this. You need to sleep. In the winter, our bodies produce more melatonin. You will be more sleepy naturally. And ignoring the fact that you need more sleep when you're really, really busy and you've got a million things going on, and skimping on sleep so that you can wrap gifts and so that you can do this and that and the other. I just want you to know that is a recipe for disaster. You're very likely to be irritable. You're very likely, by the way, to get sick. Sleep deprivation is actually connected to a whole host of chronic illnesses. It's really hard on your immune system, and it makes you much more susceptible to whatever bug is being passed around at the Christmas party. In addition, lack of sleep drastically impairs our judgment and our coordination. So it will make you drop things and break things. It will make wrapping hard. It will make everything harder. And I have to tell you, because of that, you should just take the time to sleep. Okay. It will save you time on all these other things if you just take the time to sleep and get some rest if you need it. Right. Even if it's just a little chill, just get a little bit of rest. Number 4 is take you time. During the holidays, we are peopling a lot. And even if you are a super, super extrovert, okay, a little bit of you time, just a moment to check in with yourself, have a cup of coffee in the morning alone, maybe do a little journaling, maybe listen, maybe a little yoga, maybe you consider yoga to be your thing. Maybe decorating the tree or putting up garland is you time. You love doing it. Okay. This is not stuff that you're doing for other people. This is stuff you're doing because you love it and it fills your cup. Okay. If you're an extrovert, maybe it's going out for coffee just with your friend because that's what recharges you. We need to take the time to recenter on ourselves. This is really, really important for our mental health hygiene. Okay. Um, it is exhausting to be around other people all the time for me because I'm an introvert. And I know that some of you are extroverts and you're like, I get so charged up. Yes, I understand that. But it's really important that we stay connected with ourselves, that we stay connected with ourselves as our source, and that we stay authentic and true to ourselves. And I have found that even the most extroverty of people, when they're spending a lot of time with other people, and the expectations and demands of other people, it can be really easy to kind of get caught up there, right? And to lose some of the focus on ourselves and what we need. So just that little check-in that says, "Hey, how you doing? What do you need today? How can I support you the best possible way?" To yourself. You're gonna talk to yourself like you would, to somebody else that you love. And checking in with you is really, really important, and it'll really help you through this holiday season, and going forward into the winter months where SAD is prevalent, meaning seasonal affective disorder, and help stave some of that off because you're doing the work to really love on and nurture and care for yourself and prioritize yourself. Number 5 is create routines that work. This might mean abbreviating your morning routine or your nighttime routine so that your routines are shorter and you have more sleeping time. This might mean creating a new routine so that you get that wrapping done as like part of your chores each day. This might mean ditching a routine that you just don't have the time for, that isn't serving you right now in this season. Could mean that too. It is okay. Okay. I think that this is a very common misperception. It is okay to abbreviate your routine. It's okay to modify your routine. This is not going to break you for life. Okay. People tend to think that once they have, like, especially a morning routine in place, that if they change it or abbreviate it, that they are somehow slacking or that they are ditching their habits that they worked so hard to create. In most cases, if that habit is your habit, you've really owned that habit. It's like riding a bike. And when you get through the holidays, you're going to get right back on it. Okay. If that's not you, by the way, that isn't me. Habits are hard for me to create. Habits are always hard for me to create. They're always hard for me to maintain. Even if I take a little break from them, it's not going to be any harder for me on January 2nd to go back to my morning routine than it is right now to do my morning routine. It's just the reality. These things don't become automatic for me. I could have a whole conversation about why that is in another video. If y'all want to hear about it, you want to know why this happens for me. There is some trauma related stuff in this, and there's some neurodivergent stuff as to why this happens. And so, yes, I have routines. Yes, I know how to create routines, but I would not say that my routines really become automated. And if yours do become automated, great. No worries. Abbreviate them and go back to them after the holidays. We've got to give ourselves permission to actually be more flexible in seasons that demand other things from us. Okay. You are not going to get 27 hours in the day so that you can do all the holiday stuff. I see a lot of people talking online about how are they supposed to fit all these things into all the things they're already doing. And the answer is you're not. The answer is something has to give. And so that may be part of your cleaning routine. That might be, you may do what I do and say, I'm not going to do a structured workout in my morning routine. I'm going to do something a little different. You might say, I'm going to tighten up blank. One of the things that I like to do, usually my bedtime routine, is read a nonfiction book. I don't do as much reading during the holidays because I find that I have other things that tend to push into my evening, like wrapping. And so for that reason, I do that. And make sure that, by the way, as I say wrapping, if you're partnered, you and your partner both need to show up in this season. This is not a one-person job when you're partnered. And I think that that's a really unfair thing. I think, and I'm just going to speak from what I've seen. I see women really ripping themselves apart trying to get all this stuff done through the holidays while their male identifying partners play video games and continue doing what they're doing far too often. No, I'm not saying all men, but far too often. Okay. Far too often. My ex-brother-in-law had my sister convinced for 10 years that he could not wrap gifts. All right. Come on. Everybody can wrap gifts. I'm just telling you, everybody can wrap gifts. Everybody can get tape and scissors and wrap gifts. They might not look perfect. They might not be all that pretty, but everyone can pitch in and everyone can help. In addition, there's no shame in hiring things out. I will be doing a small step Sunday or a small step Saturday on gift wrapping and sustainable gift wrapping. So you can check out both of those videos if you want. But this is actually a group effort. Don't do it all by yourself. Consider that to just be a bonus tip. So what we want to do is reduce those obligations, reduce our expectations, take care of our health, take you time, create routines that work. And as a bonus tip, if you are partnered, you do it together. Okay. Do not do this alone. All right. You are amazing and you deserve to live the life that you have been dreaming of. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I am always here to help you overcome obstacles, accomplish your goals, and create healthy habits so that you can live your very, very best life. All right. Bye, everyone.